Good morning, class. I had to go to a conference today, so I created this podcast in order to teach you how to do dimensional analysis because I don't think it's something that you can learn very well just without any instruction. Since I'm not here, there will not be test corrections after school. So if you plan on staying after that, go ahead and make other plans. We will reschedule test corrections for next Thursday, and if you wanted to get them done before that, please feel free to try to reschedule or to schedule a time with me to do that during lunch or before school. So today we will be doing dimensional analysis, which is a process whereby units are used to solve a problem. And when we're doing this, we are going to use things called equalities. This is an example of an equality right here. An equality is something that's just equal to itself. So in 12 inches is equal to 1 foot. 3 feet is equal to 1 yard. 100 centimeters is equal to a meter. So all of these things are equal to one another. We could call them equalities. All right, an example problem that you might see. I have 5 feet, and I want to know how many inches is that. All right, so in order to do this, you need to have a system. And like this problem, you might be able to think this one through and figure out what the answer is, and that's great. But we're going to start simple and learn a good method so that when it starts to get complicated, we'll be able to do this just as easily. So if you can do this by yourself, I know it's simple, but still you need to learn this method so that when it gets to the more difficult ones, you're able to think through them without any problem. All right, so how we want to set these up is we're going to set up what we have divided by 1 times what we want over what we have. Okay, and that might seem a little confusing because you have no idea what I'm talking about when I say have and want. When I say have, I'm talking about the units that we're starting with. So we are starting with 5 feet. We are starting with feet. What we want is we want our measurement to be in inches. So that is what we want. So if we start with what we have, 5 feet, and you'll want to write it out with the units, they will be part of your grade. We're going to divide that by 1, and then multiply by what we want, which is inches, over what we have, which is feet. Okay, and the next step is to find what numbers are going to go into these two spots. So if we look up at our equality, I can see that it says 12 inches equals 1 foot. So next to 12, I'm going to write, it's next to inches, sorry, I'm going to write 12. Alright, I'm not sure why it does that, but it's extremely irritating. And so I'll see if I can just type it in here. I've been working on this for a while now and it still keeps doing it. So 12 inches, and then that equals 1 foot. So this is going to be our equation now that we're going to solve using math. We would take 5, multiply it by anything on top, so 12 is on top, so we do 5 times 12, that's 60, divided by 1 will give us our answer. So this equals 60. All right, and we can figure out what the units are by looking at what we had and what we canceled out. So we started with feet, but we have feet on the bottom, which helps us cancel that out. and we're left with inches. So our unit would be inches. And the inches are just as important as the number. If you don't have 60, that's going to be wrong, but if you don't have inches, you're going to get half a point taken off. So make sure you include the units that you are solving for. All right, so over here, let's go ahead and try another example. So these are all the different types of equalities that you'll be working with today. They're all English units, like I said. In the future, we'll work with metric units, and further on in the year, we'll do moles and atoms and particles, volume of an atom. So that we'll deal with later, but for now, let's start it simple. Let's do this problem. Let's try, we will do, I'm just going to put a, oh, that did not work how I wanted it to. Sorry, I'm going to erase that. We'll just go back to trying to write with this pen. So we'll do, let's say we have 45 gallons equals how many quarts? All right, we start with what we have. We have 45 gallons. We will divide by the 1. And then over here, we will put what we have on top. Or actually, sorry, we'll put what we want on top, which is quarts. And what we have on the bottom, which is gallons. So for gallons and quarts, we want to look up and find the conversion factor that uses quarts and gallons. So I'm going to carefully circle this. All right, and the conversion says that 45 quarts equals 1 gallon. So when we write it in, we're going to use 45 by the quarts and 1 by the gallons. And then we'll hit equals, and to find how many quarts we had, we have 45 times 4 divided by 1. So 45 times 4, I have to grab a calculator for that. $180. So our answer, 180. We canceled out our units of gallons, and that left us with the unit of quarts. All right, now we're going to turn this around and we're going to do another example going the other direction, because this time we'll have to divide. So if I have 45 quarts, and I want to know how many gallons that is, it's going to be a different problem. So this time we'll start with what we have again, 45 quarts divided by 1. We're going to multiply by, and we want to put what we have on the bottom, so we have quarts. What we're trying to find, or what we want on the top, gallons. And then we need to figure out which numbers go where. So if we look up here again, it says 4 quarts. So next to quarts, we're going to put 4. And then it says 1 gallon, so next to gallons, we're going to put 1. Now the 4 is on bottom. And whenever you have a number on bottom, that means you're going to divide by it. So we'll take 45 times 1, which is 45, and divide by 4. And that equals 11.25. And again, we can figure out what units we're left with by crossing out our quarts, and we're left with gallons. Okay, so I recommend jotting down this example if you haven't done that yet, so that you have something to look off of. In the worksheet, and I'll have the substitute teacher remind you of this, We will not be doing number 11, 12, 13, 15, 17, or 18. Don't cross them out completely because we will do them tomorrow, or on Friday, but they are two-step problems, and we haven't talked about two-step problems. So go ahead and do all of the rest. You will not do 11, 12, 13, 15, 17, and 18. And just a reminder, make sure you check out behind the overhead projector and see what you volunteered to bring for our snack day on Friday. This will not be a free day, but you will get to have a snack and just kind of have a more relaxing day than usual. So I hope that this podcast was productive for you and that you can figure out how to do some of these. Make sure that you use your units and that you cancel them out and write units and the number as your answer. Have a good day.